Morning. Good morning. Oh, I forgot I'm wearing a mic. Can you guys hear me clearly if I don't project? Hello. Right now I'm speaking softly because I have a mic on, but I actually have never tested it yet, so I don't know if it works. I'm speaking softly right now, so if you could hear me, let me know. If you cannot hear me, I'll speak louder. I usually project, but you could hear me. I could speak at this volume. Wow. I'm not used to it because I don't wear a mic. So usually I'm projecting. Usually I'm talking really loud. But this is my comfort voice. Like this is me like just comfortably not straining my voice whatsoever. Does it sound like mumbling? Huh. I'll watch this back and see. Oh, interesting. Great. Okay. Thank you guys. Thank you all. Hey, how's everyone? How's everyone doing? I got a couple requests here. I don't usually have people in. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday to all of you. What do you put on? Oh, hey, thank you, Vicky. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I think accountability is important. I think that um, that's one thing that we notice we lack in this country is it's important because of course it sets a standard and also discourages other people from doing that sort of thing, but it also protects victims as well. Your voice sounds like you just woke up. No, I'm awake. It could be I mean, I'm not sick, but I just been feeling not my best. It could have something to do with that, but I'm honest because I'm not straining my voice right now or not projecting it, this is what it sounds like to me. This is what it sounds like to you. Thank you. No, thank you guys so much. Thank you. I appreciate it. I have a couple of posts recently. I wanted to talk about. You have that one with the video, the most recent one. What's her name again? Cheryl. Cheryl. Um, and she, the one who comes out of her car, just starts going, "What are you?" She's calling a good person illegal, simply because they're. No, I can't sing. I can't sing. This is deep voice is literally a waste. I can't sing. Like I've got the perfect bass voice, but I can't sing. So it's just saying, what a waste. What a waste. It sounds like I could probably belt something out. I can't do anything. I've taken classes. I've taken singing classes for 2 years. Never like it's just something I can't do. It's just something I can't do. It's okay. But you know what? I really, really enjoy watching people who can sing. Because it's something I can't do, it's something I really appreciate. Something I really like. Yes, I've been on Blue Sky this whole time. But anyway, back to what I was saying. Um, she's coming out calling this person legal for no reason. It's because okay, she thought that this person who was parked for her mobile order wasn't actually parked for a mobile order. Why is she taking it upon herself to police this? It's such a strange thing to police. Now I know that I've had about a lot of new followers on Instagram. I don't know why my Instagram has been blowing up lately. It's suspicious. My other platforms aren't blowing up like this. Only my meta platforms. And I'm wondering if hi Mia. I'm wondering if somehow they're funneling. I'm noticing some of my friends they're gaining a lot of followers too. I'm wondering if Meta is just like um, I don't know, showcasing a lot of these videos because they want people to get away from TikTok. I mean, they're trying to get people to get more followers by showcasing their videos more by trying to get people away from TikTok. I wonder, or if just in general because TikTok. Um, oh, thank you. You guys are too kind. Well, yeah, I'm under, but you're very kind. I appreciate it. But I've been doing the work for a while, so it's just kind of strange. Because Tizzy's linked too. Well, I mean, Tizzy also had a huge growth too. He also like his account skyrocketed as well. Um, I was just wondering if maybe they were trying to like help TikTokers get more followers on Meta so they'd leave TikTok. Like that's what I was thinking because I'm still more attracted to YouTube than any of the other ones because YouTube actually not only they have like more they have a payment structure that is more stable. With TikTok and with Instagram, it is all over the place. You never know how much you're going to make. And well, granted, when you do social media, you really don't know how much you're making every month, but at least you can like go, okay, if I make this many videos and I average views, I can expect this much. If anything else, more than that by surprise, but not less. It's a job. Like this is a job. I have to be able to like be responsible about it. And TikTok, being unclear whether or not it's going to go, is not someone. It's not a place that I have invested heavily in. Um, and because I don't know what the future is with that. There's something important you want to share with us today. Yeah, yeah. I'm following you from Fort Myers. Yeah. Well, I love you too. Oh, Barcelona's here. Hello. Hello, Barcelona. Thank you for joining us. Um, yeah, I wanted to talk to you guys about one thing. So you had this lady coming out saying all this, and what I said to her is what I said in the video, which I wanted to reiterate because it touches on something else too. Um, which is that I said it's not the skin color brown that's committing all the crimes. Like you don't need to be on top of brown people. First of all, um, like I don't know if this is just something some people inherently believe, but like white people are not in charge of people of color. Like they don't have to like go around policing them. You don't have to do that. You don't do that. I am on fan base. You don't have to. You don't have to do that. Yeah, it's not your job, and it creates problems. It creates problems. Nobody likes being told by another person who's in the exact same position as they are, another civilian with no authority, what they should or shouldn't be doing. And then this like, it's not just that, but also behind it comes this like indignation. This like belief that they have every right to be mad that you didn't submit to them. Like, why are you mad? You're out here doing the thing that's wrong. You're trying to tell me what to do. Then you call me a racist name, and now you're like getting out of your car. Like, what is happening? Where is all this energy coming from? You should know you're wrong. You should know you shouldn't be doing these things. I mean, I would never try to just like control someone like that and then get mad that they didn't listen to me in that way. And that, of course, comes from this idea. I mean, it is, along with all the things she said, obviously, it is because she is a racist. She believes that it is her job to police people of color because she doesn't believe that people of color know how to um, live among society like humans do, like her, and that they need to be checked on. That's what she must believe because there's no other logical reason why to check in. Now, people are saying, okay, somebody's saying, can you reach me out, Lee County, Florida? Okay, send me a message. I'll check for Brad Steckland. I'll check for you, man. So in that video, I said that the people committing the crimes, it's your skin color, not everybody else. And the reason I say that is because statistically that's true. That's not to say that I'm trying to say what she is in reverse, right? I'm not trying to say, oh, we should be treating white people like this. No. Uh, in my opinion, actually, what I believe to be absolutely true is that we're all the same, and we're all likely to commit crimes at the same degree. Um, but there are more white people in this country than any other people. So as far as population goes, yeah, statistically, it makes sense why the people who dominate the population would also dominate every other statistic. Um, and then when there are things that don't make sense, like for example, you have a high arrest rate for black people, but then their exoneration rate is extremely high to like what 80%. So now you have all these people who are being locked up that are more often than not exonerated. I mean, they should never have been locked up in the first place. Well, that could confuse somebody who doesn't choose to look into that, but also that's used as a tool to push white supremacy. That out of context information, or missing information. But like the thing that I'm pushing is that when you try to assign crimes to a certain race, what you do is that you're not only being racist, but also you're turning a blind eye to where it could be happening. So the most recent thing that I posted was about pedophilia, and I posted all these cops and church leaders that were. And these are all recent stories, very recent stories. They all just happened, and they're all white, they're all men, and they're all cops, church leaders. So people are like, well, what are you trying to say? Is it just like all cops, all church leaders, all white people? Is that what you're saying? All men? No, that's not what I'm saying. When it comes to pedophilia, we should all be on the same side against it. And the perpetrators of that are people in positions of power. People in positions of power. Now, who in this country is allowed positions of power? So that's why it looks like that. Okay? That's why it looks like white men. That's why it looks like it's all just white men, Christian, because those are the people that are allowed positions of power, regardless of how unqualified they may be. Not saying that all of them are, but like you have people with criminal histories. You have people with, like, if a person of color had that sort of criminal history, I mean, they wouldn't be hired in positions of power. So, I don't want there to be confusion to think, oh, Donish is saying it's all white people. No, it's not. Any person could do that. Any person could. And generally, it's people who abuse their positions of power. It just so happens in this country, there's one type you're going to see that's allowed positions of power. Positions of power. So there's one type um, that is that you'll see doing that more often. That they're, you know, I hope that makes more sense. Because again, I don't think that sort of thing should be politicized. The only reason I put it up the way that I did is because it's so often politicized incorrectly as trans people and immigrants doing that, and it's not them doing it. Not to say that they could never do it. Anybody could, but the wrongful stereotype not only puts people in danger, it puts the actual lives of immigrants and trans people in danger, but it also then shapes laws in this country. These stereotypes that are incorrect. It shapes laws. That is very scary because, like, you have to remember in this country, laws are a series of precedents that are set, right? Like courts will decide how a law should be interpreted, and then that is, that's a law. So if you do this by race, it's going to end up hurting the people setting these laws the most, because statistically you'll find that it's like, remember one right wing talking point often is referencing the summer of 2020 BLM riots is what they say. In reality, these BLM protests, protesting something very like real, very tragic that happened, the murder of George Floyd, which was validated, by the way, by Chauvin's conviction. And these protests had a message, a very important message, and they tried the same strategies to silence these protests, to take the meaning away from them. They tried the exact same strategies they've tried every single time there's a civil rights protest. They say it's violence. Violence. Oh my gosh, look at all this violence. First of all, like when not, I don't support violence, but when the path that you are given, when the path they tell you should be taking, right? This is the path to take the right way. Decide to do it the right way. Okay, do it this way. When they put roadblocks on that, or they've made it in such a way that you cannot succeed in that pathway in the only right way, you're not left with another choice. That same person that told you this is the right way to do it is also giving you the pathway of violence when they don't let you do it the right way. They're the ones providing that. So I would say provide a correct way to do that. And these protests, these were actually not violent protests. It was about 95% of them were completely peaceful. There was no issues on it. 5% of them had violence. And if you look it up, man, all you got to do is actual research. The DHS report of that summer 2020 of Trump's DHS said a majority of the violent protests, so 5% of the 100% of these protests, 5% that were violent, a majority of those were Boogaloo Boys, far right, extreme. This is all documented under Trump's DHS. You can't say that Biden did whatever. Boogaloo Boys, it was white men, military people pretending to be BLM, pretending to be Antifa, setting fire to buildings and stuff to try to kill the movement. The actual arrests were made, mugshots were posted. Like, it's not, you can't make this sort of thing up. So in class, he showed up and said, "Why so hateful? Why are you so hateful? I don't know. I don't know who you are. I don't know anything about you. I can imagine you are hateful because you are a scared person. You're a paranoid person. You're an ignorant person. I would take one of those guesses, but you know yourself better than I. So maybe therapy. I don't know. Um, so let's see here. But here, we are fighting back. We're pushing back, of course, against hateful people. And the way to do that is to recognize where it's coming from. I'm not a political page, but if you politicize your hate, it doesn't mean that my hands are off of it. It doesn't mean that, like, suddenly I can't touch it or I have to talk about it in a certain way. I don't care how you shape things. I don't really respect the way things are shaped at all, because they don't respect other people. I will tell you how I feel about certain things, and I will tell you how I feel we could solve some of these things. And if you don't like that, if you want to push back against that, then I mean, the only person really pushing for hatred in that scenario would be, you. So again, fear, ignorance, whichever one you want to take a pick. But as Americans, all Americans, whether you're left, right, middle, none, all, um, we all have the same priorities. It's just that the ideas that we have to get there are they're in completely different realities. For example, what I mean about goals is like we all want to be safe, right? We all want somewhere safe to raise our kids. We all want the best for our kids. And I have to say that as vague as possible because the definitions of that, of course, are different between us. Or if those of you don't have kids, you just want safe, happy, healthy life. You want to be able to um, make work and make money, right? No one's asking for anything for free. Um, but at the same time, like we gotta consider certain things. Like, okay, well, what is to you a fair opportunity? What is happy, healthy, free? It takes very little. It takes very little, but for someone else, it'll take a little more. Um, and you should be grateful that it takes very little. Instead, you have people saying, "Well, then why should they get more? I want what they're getting." But you have what they're getting. Is the point? You have that through either your family provided that for you, inheritance, it was left to you, whatever that may be. But you were given an advantage in this land in that you don't have to have that extra help. So, like, be grateful. Be grateful. That's really nice to have. Now, there are other programs in place that could help other people who are disadvantaged. Well, I don't want to help those people. Okay, well, that's your community. That's the community you live in. If you want to be so selfish to a point where you're like, all I care about is me and only me, and I don't care about anyone outside this house. Yeah, well, eventually you step outside the house, right? You have to go outside the house, and the people that you didn't care about may not care about you or your, security, and they may see that you have stuff they don't. Or you go out to the world and you just see shit everywhere because you didn't want to invest in the rest of it. You just want to invest in what you have. You can have a house made of solid gold. Your community is shit. It's not worth anything. I mean, is that the life you want? Do you want to do you not want for your neighbors to do well? Do you not want for your friends and family to do well? Do you not want your community to do well? Do you not want it to thrive? Do you not want to step outside to a beautiful community, to one where there's less crime, everyone's happy, everyone's fed, everyone's healthy? You want that, right? Like, because that's where you live. You live outside of your own house. So you don't just live in your home. Um, but also this idea of like taking things you don't need. Oh, well, that person's getting it. I want it too. You don't need it. You don't need it. They need it. Um, I don't agree that that gets to be politicized, and not to say that like one side is protecting that either. It's not like I feel like we have a political system in place where one side is trying to provide for everything and one side isn't. I feel like one side is definitely not, and one side is kind of, but like I don't feel like we're doing enough. I don't feel like uh there's enough being done. I feel like there's too much being done to block people who need it the most. When you see a group that is the most the most marginalized group in this country is trans people. You can't deny that because they are literally being erased. Their existence, their accomplishments, everything is literally being erased. You see hate crimes against them all the time, violent hate crimes. I mean, maybe you don't read the news stories, but there are many, many tons of them, and um, that's not just trans people who can't take the bullying anymore and take their own life. Those kids that do that, but also you have people get killed, people get sexual violence against them by people who are transphobes, which I don't understand. It's very alarming that it's sexual violence too, because it's like I thought you hated that, but you seem to into why are you hurting them? It's very it's upsetting, but that violence towards trans people, that hatred, that accept the idea that any human, you could just marginalize like that, and just you know it's very sad. It's very sad to see people like cheering that on, people laughing about it. Um, I used to do comedy, so it's really sad to see comedians who are washed up, who just like don't possess the skill to be funny, and they just lean on transphobia because They know a bunch of right wing bullies will laugh, and it'll get them some ticket sales. Um, I think it's really sad. When I did comedy, there was a gig I had for the Disney Cruise, and I talk about this a lot just because there's one little interesting part about it. Now, I used to perform for college students, so it was a little different getting hired by Disney Cruise because they were like, "Well, we have a lot of restrictions here. And, you can't really do what you do in college. So you can't even make fun of someone if they get up to go use the bathroom. Why? Well, they may have GI issues, and we are on a ship. You don't want to draw attention to that. Oh, okay. Well, you don't want to make fun of where someone's from. So if I ask someone, where are you from? And they tell me, oh, I'm from New Jersey. You can't make fun of that. I can't make fun of New Jersey? No. You can't make people feel bad about where they're from. Okay. Can I do this? And the restrictions were so insanely, like, they were insane. They were like 2 pages of restrictions, like, of so many things you can't say. And I'm like, okay, like, do you want me to tell jokes? Like, what do you want me to do? And they just look straight at you and they say, if you don't possess the skill, if you're not a good enough comedian that you can't work with these restrictions, we'll find someone who can. And that was just like, it was a very eye opening moment for me. It's not about restriction. It's not about censoring. It's about skill. Okay, well, because of their advertisers, because of their brand, this is what they want. This is the product they want. You call it woke. You call it whatever the hell you want. Can you deliver it? Can you do it? No, you don't possess that skill. Okay, you're not a good comedian. We'll find one who is. Find one who is. And that yeah, it really opened my eyes, that where I was like, all these people bitching about censorship are, need need these certain things as a crutch. They need to be able to be hateful or hurtful in that way because it's their crutch. It's their only way of being able to be funny. Is to bully someone. It means to like try to make a clever joke without putting someone down, without making someone like. Anyway, so so that. And well, dude, there's a lot of comedians. Your favorite comedians that you are like, man, I really wish this guy was. So, they could all do that. That's why they're really good comedians. Like, Jim Carrey could do that. He's done kids movies. You think Jim Carrey ever went like, hell no, I'm not going to do a kids movie unless I could, pretend to have sex with you put restrictions on him, put him in Sonic, put restrictions on him. He could do it. He's got the skill, right? No, it's nobody says, oh wow, Jim Carrey did a kids movie. What a woke asshole! Like, it's so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. There. So I don't understand bullying a marginalized group. I don't understand making that a political stance. I don't understand a half-ass effort to protect that community. I think the Democrats should do a lot more. Um, yeah. What's a woke asshole? I don't know. I don't know. One that's not bleached, I guess. I don't know. I should have made that my username, woke asshole. Well, thank you. You know, I was talking about earlier about how somebody else may not have the things that you have, um, and so they may need more. And that was it reminded me of something else. I just forgot. I got distracted. Oh, hello. I forgot I have a mic on. I started speaking louder again. I hope it didn't. Maybe you can still hear me. Um, gosh, I forgot where I was going with that. Oh yeah, now I remember. Um, so we're talking about how some people may need more, some people may need a little more help, and I think about that, like when people say they're against reparations. I don't. I shouldn't have to pay reparations. My family didn't have any slaves. Sure, yeah, no, okay, but if you want to keep that argument, um, you can't have your stuff, the land, the home, all the stuff that was left to you. You can't say, well, I didn't participate in it, so I don't know. I shouldn't have to pay for any of it. But at the same time, you keep all the stuff you benefited from it. Like, that's you're literally benefiting from it directly. So It's not like something that's out of the scope of what you get, and to not want to help, um, to not want to help others. It's just hey man, I didn't do what my ancestors did, but at the same time, hey man, I want to keep what my ancestors got from doing what they did. It's a little inconsistent, is all I'm saying. Someone earlier had said something I was going to answer, but oh, Department of Education. Just found you on Instagram. Oh, hey, great, thank you. I'm so glad you're calling. Let's see. Do. Oh, Department of Education. Oh, no, that's a nightmare. Um, it's an absolute nightmare because the Department of Education provides a lot of resources that is federally funded that are going to be gone, and it goes beyond just like teachers, books, or whatever it is that you thought it might be. But think about other programs they put in place. Remember, this administration believes that anybody who is not already well off is a parasite, is how they said it. Um, and that is concerning. Look, we're a team. America is a team, right? And we're only as strong as our weakest member. And we seem to be like punishing our weakest members. Um, it's not right, but it's also not fair, and it's also not. It's very far from the idea of a land of opportunity. There's no opportunity there if you're not going to have programs like Head Start or Early Head Start, where they provide not only um, daycare for young kids, but also like an opportunity for children who are not like infants, toddlers, also an opportunity for them to get ahead, to get educated. Um, these things are important. Like, look, you want less crime in your community? Educate your community. They pay for the education. Get after school programs for your community. Give those kids something to do. You want less crime in your community. You have daycare systems or after school programs. Guess what? The parents could go to work. Their hands are free. You have more people working. You have more people participating in after school programs. Probably kids doing less time for them to do drugs, get into gangs. But you take everything from them and you make them starve. What's the priority going to be? Like survival. And in survival, when you're in survival mode, you're not living the same rules as everybody else. If you notice on this page, I never cover stealing. Do you notice that? Never once have I covered theft. I've been tagged in videos. I don't cover theft. Non-violent theft, I do not cover because it's a tricky scenario. Is this person like I've been tagged in like, oh, homeless person did something or unsheltered? They have nothing. What, they have nothing. I'd rather go after whoever put them in that position. There's a bigger injustice there. It's hard not to see that. And the lack of health care, it also means a lack of mental care. You want less crime in your community. You want less like violence in your community. You want less mental health care. Mental health care. I mean, it's the thing that they blame school shootings on. Yet are not willing to invest. If you're going to blame school shootings on mental health, then surely this is an issue we all care about. Let's invest in healthcare. Mental health is important. You got like, I mean, I'd say both guns and mental health, but like at least pick one, right? At least pick one and push forward. Otherwise, you're saying school shootings are a way of life, which they say too, which is unacceptable. It's so unacceptable. And what's sad too is like the reason why it's just a way of life is because of what the perpetrators look like. If there was a school shooting and the guy looked like me and had my name, there'd be another Muslim ban tomorrow. And there only had to be one. There would only have to be like one. They still talk about the Boston bomber and 9/11 like they're the only things that have ever happened in this country. Just takes one. One brown guy do it. One brown guy do it, and that's all they want. That's all. That's all they'll want to hear. And that's what's so frustrating is that these like one doesn't make a pattern first of all, but also like these things are not happening based off race. And like the people in our government should be smart enough to understand there's socioeconomic reasons why people are put in desperate positions. I'm not saying that I approve, of someone harming another person just because they don't have anything. What I'm saying is that um, there is, how should I word this correctly? It, it's far worse when somebody is doing that type of thing and they already have everything. And somebody who's doing that type of thing just to make sure nobody else gets ahead. I mean, that is cruel in a way, but somebody doing it to survive, like a woman, maybe a single mom, maybe she steals something to feed her kids. It, what? We're gonna lock her up now so her kids don't have a mom? Like make it worse? So anyway, there's a reason why I don't cover theft. There's a reason why I like to dispel um, wrongful stereotypes and show that it is like all the stereotypes you say, all these pedophiles, all these killers, all these rapists, they're all white people. But that's only because of population density. But they're all white people. But we don't do things by race because that doesn't make sense. And it's unfair and it's racist. And I don't believe in demonizing any race. I don't believe in demonizing white people. I don't believe in demonizing Christian people. I don't believe in demonizing them. But I believe that we should stop using these wrongful stereotypes because those ones that are using it, the people using the wrongful stereotypes, are the ones who are actually showing up in statistics. And if we were to do it their way, they would be the ones who would be in trouble, right? Like white people wouldn't be allowed to go to school anymore because we'd be afraid of school shootings. But again, it's unfair and racist to assume white people are all school shooters. That's not fair and it's not okay. That type of grace is normal to give someone. And it's expectation that I have is that it's given to other people too. But no, what they do is they pull up these statistics that are wrong, half complete, or just there to scare you, while leaving out other statistics and context. And if it aligns with your worldview, you just take it, you eat it up, and you go. That's all right. Whether you're Republican, whether you're Democrat, whether you're white, whether you're black, whether you're brown, however you are, whatever you might be, whoever you may be, it doesn't change anything. That bad behavior is bad. We should all be against it. But wrongfully assigning it to people, there's something more insidious, of course, than just getting people in trouble who don't deserve it, which is that you are providing cover, right? So if you're saying, no, it's not these church leaders, it's not these cops, it's immigrants. Look at them. Look over there. Look at the immigrants over there. Then what are we not looking at? What are we not looking? What are we not investigating then? Where it's happening? In fact, if you go look at the immigrants, you'll likely find that ICE is doing horrible things to them, sexual things to them, because there are people in positions of power who take advantage of that. We should be more focused on punishing people in positions of power who take advantage of that, take advantage of other people, whether it's, um, you know, sexually abusing someone, physically abusing someone, financially abusing someone. Like, is your CEO making a certain amount, but people actually doing all the work don't get a living wage? That's financial abuse, man. That's we need to actually have um, priority should actually be there. There's the people. They're the people hurting America, hurting Americans, hurting white Americans, hurting black Americans, hurting brown Americans, hurting every American. When laws were first put in place, I mean, I don't mean in this country, but I mean like in general, when people are making these decisions of what's bad, what's good, morally, ethically, but also like we're living in a society. What are our rules going to be? Um, who gets to decide? Who gets to decide who makes the rules? Is it all the serfs and peasants? They have a king during that time. Why would they need to? No, you have the kings, the nobles, noble classes, of course. They're the ones saying, "Hey, killing is wrong. Killing is wrong. Obviously, killing is wrong, right? Stealing is wrong. That's not a rule a poor person would make. Stealing is wrong. right? The nobles have a lot of stuff they don't want you to take it. So killing them and stealing them is wrong. Now, of course, we all agree that taking advantage of another human being is, of course, wrong. But what I'm trying to talk about is that there's more laws that go beyond that. And we're not just talking about these basic things. There's more laws that go beyond that. And to a certain point, fast forward till now, where you have a police force, say in this country, and you go to them if you have your own problem, and they don't help you. They don't help you. But if a rich person's stuff is in danger, they'll be there. They'll all be there. The entire squad will show up. They'll get local cities to show up. They're on top of that. They'll solve it. Luigi shot someone, but every cop in the United States was on it. People are murdered all the time. People are murdered all the time in this country. Have you ever seen the amount of police work that went into finding Luigi go to solving any other crime? You wouldn't go to solving a crime if you were killed. If I was killed, unsolved mystery. So, what I would say is that there's more of us, and our collective opinions on these things and messaging and the decisions we make. Like the saddest part about it is that you have, and not like a huge majority, but you have a portion of the country that is pro like self oppression. They feed off of persecution, and so they need to create a victim mentality um, for everything, for everything, literally for everything. If you say, "Hey, I don't want black people to be killed by the police anymore. This is insane. Why are they always killed by police when for routine traffic stops? Why? This needs to stop. Black lives also matter just as much as any of your lives matter. Well, blue lives matter." What are you talking about? I'm saying that they're killing these people. Well, cops get killed too. They signed up for that. They're getting. What do you mean? Like a child was killed for having a toy gun. Blue lives matter. It's a job. It's not even the most dangerous job. Why are you doing this? It's because that in itself. I mean, I believe that was the beginning of the spiral for us. Not when Harambe died. I think it was back when the response to Black Lives Matter was, but the people who kill him also matter. That accepting that I think was a downward spiral for America. That should never have been accepted as a thing to say. When I see people with like a line going on their flag in their car, like it doesn't make me think this person in front of me supports the good work that our police do in our community. That doesn't make me think that. It makes me think that is a reaction to Black Lives Matter. That is somebody thinking, as soon as you say Black Lives Matter, I say cops who kill them matter. That's what. That's the message it sends. I don't know what your intention was. That is the only message that sends to me, and it also makes American flags threatening. Waving around American flag to when you're being racist or shouting about America while you're being racist. So, of course, it makes American flag an offensive display eventually. You use this flag, this imagery, to bring hatred, to humanize people, to degrade people, and you want people to respect it. It's not going to happen like that. I pass by a house and I see an American flag. It used to be, I think, oh look, person loves their country. Now I pass by and go, they probably love the Muslim man. You know what I mean? Symbols are very powerful. Symbols are very powerful, and having a normal reaction to certain things, like, oh, this is hateful. Hey, I find this to be hateful, is important. Because the moment you get comfortable with certain things, it becomes normalized. Blue lives matter should never become a normalized phrase. That should never become normalized. That allowed for black people to be viewed in a way that perpetuates more of the same happening, and more of the same continue to happen to them. And it's just really sad. So I think it is important to make an effort to push back on these symbols. When Elon Musk is hiling Hitler, and nobody wants to hold him accountable for it. Okay, well, every one of you guys who also did that got fired from your jobs for doing it. So it is an offensive thing to do, and you just let that guy get away with it. That's all that happened. You just let him get away with it. It's not like he didn't mean it like that. You just decided it was okay. And it was made further worse when people started being very openly hateful about it. I fought for what the flag should stand for, and I hope that one day. Hey, look, I believe the current president proved everything. Look, what the flag should stand for, what the Statue of Liberty literally stands for. I don't think some Americans like the Statue of Liberty very much. Um, it it does within some Americans. I mean, for a lot of Americans, that's how they view America, and that's why they're so offended by this warped version of America we're seeing today. The the hateful, fearful. I like to call Trump's uh, support rather than reducing it to like "Make America Great Again," because that's not what it is. It's cavemen who fear thunder. That's that's what it is. I think that reduces it down to the base of what it actually comes down to. It is a fear of something you're just too ignorant to understand. Have no intention of learning about it. Do not care about learning about it. You just hear thunder and you get scared and you go hide because it's a loud, scary noise. Um, Fear is what makes people irrational. Um, Fear, paranoia, you know, it's the hate, it's the dark side, you know that. Someone had said in one of my comments, what about the person doing this? Maybe they're having a bad day or giving it a chance. That is up to them. When you see someone on my page, even if you see someone say sorry, it doesn't mean that they've learned a lesson and everything's okay. We solved the problem. I can't change people and I can't force them to change it. I'm not going to have them say on camera that they're going to and try to make a happy moment out of it and say, hey, look, we solved the world's problems. Because it's not reality. Reality is that there's always another chance for the aggressor. There's always another program for them. There's always someone willing to help the aggressor. There's always someone. Look at my my stalker, for example. She got out of a car and assaulted somebody. Actually committed battery and burglary and assault. And this person was on and went to jail for it. Right, unable to accept accountability, was able to get a Newsweek reporter to write sympathies about her assaulting people. Um, some reporter in St. Angelo, some hack reporter to write about how she was a victim of attacking someone else, um, and how she wasn't given a chance. And she herself, of course, continues to believe that she was a victim of attacking someone else, and that every bad thing that happened to her as a result of her behavior of attacking someone else and then attacking everybody who asked her about it, um, she, of course, thought it was the fault of everybody else. This person's not intending to grow. This person's not intending to change as a person. This person's not, going to be my focus. The focus is the victim, who's often forgotten because they're just a victim. Well, they're just a victim of this thing. They're not. There's nothing special to what change about them. They need help still. So I don't really focus on the aggressor. Do I want the aggressor to get better? Yeah, of course. Of course, I want them to change their life, turn around, and that's a adventure for them to go on. And I wish them luck if they choose to go on that adventure. I don't have any resources to help them. There are people who do that. There are tons of people who are going to help you. But the victims are too often forgotten. Um, and that starts right where the first place you go when you're a victim of something, the police. Police are the first people to forget you. Yeah, I think I'm fighting something, but I'm also not projecting because I got my mic on, so it just could sound deeper. My lips are trying to hurt though. Anyway, before this election, I didn't really touch on politics directly um, because one of the big things was that after Trump's first term, I noticed the giant lack of accountability within our just society. And it starts from the top down, of course. You have a president who's not going to be held accountable for anything, then no one below him, nobody who follows him wants to be held accountable for anything either. Um, so I thought accountability was missing, and it's very important. And it's important to apply that across the board evenly to everyone. And it was truly Donald Trump never being held accountable for anything that motivated me at first. Um, it was seeing like bad things happen to good people. They get sick, they die. And then people like Trump, who's always been evil to literally every human being he's ever come across, um, gets to fail everything in his life and still get another chance, get all this money that he never worked for, buy a degree, get accused of horrible things that he did to countless women. Um, he admits to walking in on children in their dressing rooms because he gets to watch them, and he enjoys that. The thing that they accuse trans people of doing. Trump admitted to doing that on Howard Stern. Nothing, no consequence, nothing, nothing at all, nothing at all. But if anyone does things that he did, they get consequences. Yeah, that is bad. Of course, that's bad. So yeah, that was my motivation. I wanted to apply that equally because I was worried that people, especially on the right, are the ones who need to hear it the most. That accountability matters, even if you like the candidate. Accountability matters, and you can't just like defend everything they do and say just because you like them. It is gross and weird. No politician feels like that about you. I would never ever defend like Biden or anybody else in their government. Um, the way that Trump is defended is so upsetting. It's uh, upsetting in a way that like I hate seeing grown adults submit to a con man like that and to just bow to a con man. It is sad. It is very sad. Someone said, "Is this a serious live?" Oh, I'm sorry. No, this is all a joke. What I meant to say is, cuck out for your president who hates you. It's totally a smart thing to do. Convicted rapist. That's the guy we want. Um, anyway, so my platform was welcoming, is still actually welcoming to any political ideology because it's not about politics. It's about um, accountability and it's about protecting people who have been hurt. And it was kind of cool that I see all these people on the right following me and agreeing. And people go, I'm a Trump supporter, but I see this and I agree with you. This is wrong. Because I see that as improvement. I see that as, hey, I'm getting closer to my goal of all of us accepting accountability. And I left, and I do leave the politics of the person doing it unless it's relevant. Unless it's relevant, which right now, unfortunately, everything is relevant because the president's echoing and doing a lot of stuff we stand against on this page. But there have been a mix of people from the left and the right on the page because bad behavior is bad behavior, and that'll be how I continue to do that. Bad behavior is bad behavior. Um, but what really made me sad about that was when we saw this election come up. We saw this guy who was like, hey, if this guy wins the presidency, all the things that he did legally, he's just going to pardon himself for, and he won't be held accountable. Remember, we all are for accountability, right? Suddenly, no. Suddenly, no, 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 no. Trump's here, so no. All this goes out the window. Like I thought I had made progress or headway with some people on the right, and to see them still vote for that, because even before Trump was running, every Republican I talked to that wasn't like a hardcore Trumper, they were like, I would never vote for Trump again. Yeah, it's not my guy. If he runs again, I would not vote. I probably wouldn't vote. And then, when Trump's running, they were so excited. And I'm like, what is going on? What's happening? This guy's a bad guy. Like, this is genuinely a bad guy. Well, they go, Harris is bad too. I'm like, bro, there's no one worse than this guy. Like, my preference would be Bernie. But there's no one worse than this guy. And mitigating damages matters, man. Matters. Um, so they vote for him, and now this president goes on to say that he's against birthright, and literally tried to get rid of that. He went, signed something that says no more birthright. Well, obviously that didn't work out, but he tried that. I'm American. due to birthright. My parents were not citizens when I was born here. They overstayed a visa, which is how people get here illegally, mostly. But you guys are so distracted by the border that we're able to just get right in. Thanks, guys. So no, that's they overstayed a visa, and while they were applying for their citizenship, I was born, which gives me my birthright citizenship. So the reason I bring that up is because we, I hear so much of this like criminalizing um, the infraction of coming in this country, um, which is if we care about crime, I mean, we should care about the convicted rapist that's president, but no, we want to focus on this very, very small thing. Um, and and to say that you want to get rid of birthright, that was imagine how I feel. I'm sitting here going like, I'll defend you, whether you're Republican, whether you're Democrat. In fact, the lawsuit that I'm in right now, the people that I'm in a lawsuit with right now, all originated from a video where I was defending someone with different political ideas than myself, someone who is a Trump supporter. I I put myself on the line to defend them because it's the right thing to do. Because it's the right thing to do, and I'll make that same decision again. Because if I see someone, assaulting some other person, committing battery, burglarizing them all together, and this other person is just, doing whatever the hell they want because they're rich, yeah, I'm going to stand up for you because it's the right thing to do. And maybe I'm the idiot here because y'all voted that I'm not American. I guess that's what it literally hurt. Like, I'm not even saying like it figuratively, literally hurt my feelings that I would, not about that case specifically. I mean, about in general. Like, I sit here, I'll help you, I'll defend you, but you'll still vote for a guy that'll say, I'm not American enough for you because of how I was born. So I'm not American. And you want my help? You believe I shouldn't be here? How could people come here and say, well, I support Trump all this time, and now you're getting too political? Bro, you said I'm not American anymore. You said that. Oh, you didn't know. Maybe you didn't know. Maybe you didn't know that I was born to birthright. Well, that's why you don't just vote for stupid racist shit you don't know about. Don't vote for stupid racist shit. Because you made the line in the sand. You are the one who told me I'm not good enough. You said that. So, excuse me, I'm not the one getting political. You're trying to get political with my existence. So, Ruth. It is not. You're wrong. It is not political. Other people chose to politicize civil rights. Um, I don't need to modify my content to appease what is now considered political or not. The existence of trans people is not political. It is gross that it's politicized. The existence of trans people is a fact. They exist. You can't unfact that. They exist. If you choose to politicize that, then you did that, not me. Okay, there are a lot of things that are just like women having control of their own bodies, having full autonomy of their own body. That is not political. That is a fact. Women should have full control of their bodies. If you choose to politicize that, that is your issue. You're going to find me pushing back against you then. I'm not going to stop just because something is labeled political. Wrong is wrong, right is right. And that works to your advantage because you'll have me defending you still when something wrong happens to you. Anyway. And by the way, to those people who are like, what about Biden? What about this? I didn't, I never said, I never got on here and said Biden is great. I didn't actually even say vote for Biden. I didn't actually say that. I said vote for Harris, but I didn't actually say vote for Biden. So you can't really use that one. I did say vote for Harris. And the reason I said that was because I believe in mitigating damages. My choice would be someone like Bernie, but I believe Trump is a greater threat to everything. So I believe in mitigating damages, and that's why I said that. But when it comes to something like, let's say, Biden, um, I I do believe that the investigation into Hunter was completely political. I believe that they would never have investigated him if he wasn't just the son of the president. However, However, when I was asked about it on live, I said he should be held accountable for his crimes. If he committed crimes, hold him accountable. Send him to jail. Do it. You're never going to find me saying, this is my political hero. Don't do that. What about what he did? What about what he did? You won't see me doing that. I said, go ahead. He's yours. He committed crimes. Take him. Although I do know your reasoning was political. And when asked if Biden should pardon Hunter, I said no. I said no because I didn't. I said he should be held accountable. However, when he pardoned him right before he left, I also said, yeah, I understand. I would have done something. You shouldn't have, but I understand because the incoming administration is not going to follow laws. They're not, and I understand why he pardoned his whole family. The incoming administration is out of their mind. Um, so it said Biden and Kamala are guilty of committing genocide in Gaza. Yeah, well, that's something they actually did. But like, that's something you could actually, if that was the reasoning, yeah. But that's not what they're going for. I mean, the right loves genocide in Gaza. They love that. I mean, that's not even the problem is that issue of Palestine, of the genocide in Palestine. That issue was not even neither side, neither political party was even giving us that issue as like a this or that. They were giving it as like a we support genocide. We really support genocide. Like it was a really gross choice. But mitigating damages is a difference between life and death for people. It is a privileged position to not want to mitigate damages. I will never understand not wanting to mitigate damages. I will accept that we weren't given much, variety of choices. Okay. We were given a big difference though, a huge difference. And to not want to mitigate those damages is co-signing, you know, I did not like the way the Harris or Biden team was handling Gaza at all, Palestine at all. And likely, that cost them the election. But what Trump was saying, I'm able to go, wow, that's way worse. And even if it's a difference between one kid dying, even if it's the difference between one kid dying, one kid, you have to save them, even if it's one kid. That is, yeah. Oh, someone asked who's your front runner for the Dems. Um, I don't know. They all disappoint. Unfortunately, I can't throw my support behind anybody. I threw my support behind Bernie, and they screwed us over. This is the only man I saw in politics who cared. It's the only man I saw in politics who actually said the things that were important. We need school. We need to put money into schools. We need to help people who need it. We need to. I don't. But now he's too old. Like, he's getting way too old. So I don't know. Someone says the U.S. has no political spectrum. It's either far right or right. We are a very pretty right wing skewed nation. Yeah, and I think after Trump's first term, we saw a huge, because the pendulum swung so far to the right, you had an opportunity to swing it and actually get what you want and get Bernie. You had that opportunity. That was probably the one way to get that in there, was after Trump. And he had a lot more popularity than Biden. DNC, I remember the night they went on Stephen Colbert's show and publicly the DNC said to the camera, we don't want someone like Bernie, we want someone like Biden. Like they were not, it was not a thing that they were like secretive about. It was a thing they were very open about. It wasn't a secret. They go, of course, he follows the Democratic playbook more accurately than Bernie does. So they were like, yeah, of course we want. But that doesn't work out for the rest of us. I mean, I remember back in 2002, 3, what was it? 2004, when all of a sudden Democrats were okay with gay marriage. It was all of a sudden. There was an election, and all of a sudden, gay marriage, I was wrong about what I said about gay marriage. It just became politically popular for all Democrats to suddenly just be like, hey, you know what? I think I like gay marriage. Like, why? Why didn't you realize that before? Why? What do you mean you're just coming to that? And we're talking people like Hillary Clinton, Obama, the people that are often praised on the left. They were just coming to this like, oh, I think we should. So, I mean, and like, and like, so yeah, it is hard for me to have an ideal Democratic candidate. Most of your Democratic candidates want to bomb the fuck out of my country. Um, and the Republican ones want to turn it into a parking lot. Like they want to make it worse. And it's kind of an abusive position to be in where it's like, hey, pick between these two candidates. One of them's going to hurt you a lot more than the other. So you know which one to pick. But like, yeah, I do. I do have to pick that. So, but I don't feel like the focus right now is on the left. The focus is on the right. Um, because the left doesn't hold any power right now. So my criticisms will only be of those that have power. We had options. No, I mean, look, no, we didn't. We never really had options. Trust me. um, to me, people like Pete Buttigieg, Gavin Newsom, and a lot of the other Democratic frontrunners they're the same thing to me. It's not. It's eventually essentially it's not what I want. I want further left than that. I want all people. I don't want a little bit of civil rights. I want all civil rights. I want all of them immediately. No more waiting. No more back and forth with Republicans. I want civil rights for everybody. I want everyone to be treated equally. I want there to be punishments for using hateful language towards trans people. I want there to be acceptance of people from other countries and not cracking down on immigration. How about cracking down on domestic terror groups? We have tons of domestic terrorism groups in our country. Tons of them. Tons of them. Not a couple. Tons. Tons of different types of domestic terrorist groups. And um, the FBI themselves have said the biggest threat to this nation are domestic white supremacist groups. So I know I don't get excited about a lot of these Democratic candidates because I know it's just going to be just, it's just going to be something else to pave the way for Donald Trump Jr. I'm sorry, but that's basically what's going to happen. There needs to be something. Chuck Schumer and these guys like. So, do you believe in trans women's sports? Do I believe in a really small, minute population of sports? What do you like? What are you asking me about this for? I believe that violent sports should be weight classed. Okay, gender isn't as important as weight when it comes to violent sports. Also, I don't believe in violent sports. I think that beating someone over the head is going to cause brain damage or CTE. So not. I don't know why you're asking me about sports. I don't watch sports. I don't watch sports. I don't really know how football works. Like I did a story about an Eagles fan, and half the time I called the team Phillies because I don't even know what sport they were playing. I don't care. It's not it. Look, I'm not shitting on sports. Sports are great for people who enjoy them. I'm not one of those people. So I don't care about like I don't have my opinion on trans sports. Sports. My opinion on sports is that they're sports. People do it when they want to have fun, and I guess I don't know. I'm talking about civil rights. Talking about like everyone getting health care, everyone having like shelter. Transport. You have a transmission when you're doing NASCAR. There, transport. Let me ask you a question. When you say transports, why is it you're always only talking about trans women? Like, It's weird. It's weird that whenever we talk about trans or whenever we talk about gay, it, they're always leaving like they're leaving out the other half of it because it doesn't fit that like. It's just weird. I have no opinion on trans sports. I'm so annoyed I've been asked about this. What is your opinion on on fake wrestling on WWE? What's your opinion on that? And okay, maybe you like it, maybe you don't. Who cares? Like, why are we talking about that? That's my point. It's like, what are we talking about that for? My point is though, with WWE, you guys like cosplay, you guys like dressing up, you like gender affirmation, like just for you and not anybody else. It's just not unfair. I've never come across a trans person who wasn't extremely friendly to me. By the way, even before like I've had a platform, um, I've like I don't understand the fear and all that. Like every trans person I met has always been so friendly. Not to say that they couldn't be; they're human. Any trans person or any person could be mean or nice. I guess personally, from my own experiences, I don't understand. Yes, I do. I do take time to with my loved ones. Thank you so much. Drag queens, yeah. I don't understand the hatred. I don't get it. I've gone to a drag show before. It was a lot of fun. It was really funny. They make it really funny. They're really funny. Some people like misinterpret it as though they're making fun of women. Never, never when I'm watching have I ever thought, oh, this is what a woman is like, or like making fun of women. Never. You know what's making fun of women is when you take away their bodily autonomy, when you take away their rights to their own body. That makes fun of women. That is poking fun at women or dehumanizing women. That's what that is. When you say that, like, oh, I believe in this religion that sees you as second best or sees you as a servant to me. I went to a Catholic wedding once, and that's what the bride had to say. She had to say, "I'll always be your servant," or something to that extent. I don't remember what it was. I was like, "Don't say it." Servitude, something like that. Where I was like, "Don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say that." So, that's making fun of women. Yeah, yeah. I mean, well, Linda McMahon was it'll be no different than Betsy DeRoss or anybody. At a certain point, too, you got to also consider if they don't put Linda McMahon in there, they're going to just put another Linda. Look, they didn't put the Matt Gates in there, which good they didn't, but they got their DUI hire, right? They're still going to put somebody awful. Like it's not like rejecting every one of these nominations is going to get some better. And it's all it's all going to be bad. I think the focus should be while it is infuriating that unqualified people, I think the RFK one is going to be the worst thing. Actually, I don't think that I cannot believe that one was put in. Yeah, no, you know what? Actually, I want to talk about what you just said. Uh, Canelli, Canelli. I don't know if I'm saying that right. In South America, there are a lot of different. Um, we talk about Cuba, but in South America, there are better. Gay people are treated better in many areas than in America. It is, I believe, in Brazil as well. Um, and the reason why I say that is because oftentimes when we talk about the rights of gay people, the rights of trans people, I'll hear this awful excuse where, oh, if you don't like it, why don't you go to Iran and see how they treat you there? They'll throw you off a roof, throw you off a building, they'll kill you, they'll execute you. No, they will in Iran. They're right. They will do that, but the government will do that. But why are you comparing to Iran? I'm Iranian, so I want to know: is your goal to be like Iran? Surely you wouldn't be comparing to something that, like, why aren't you comparing to countries where they have more rights? Like, why wouldn't you say, oh, you mean like, oh, well, you could just go to Brazil where you have all these rights, or Cuba where they I have respect for queer people. Why don't you just go there? No, you don't hear that. They always compare to the bad country, but that is kind of concerning. As somebody whose family came from Iran, you don't want to compare to Iran. You don't want to say, "Hey, well, they're doing it this way there." You don't want to replicate that. You don't want to be like that. Oh, oh. Ooh. Someone said Christian nationalism is be on the spectrum with Iran. Of course it is, because all religious nationalism is the same. It's the same thing. Christian nationalism, Muslim nationalism, sorry, Islamic nationalism, or um, any Jewish nationalism, any nationalism tied to religion is bad. And if you need a clear example, look at Iran. I mean, that is just far right religious conservatives that did a literal hostile takeover. Um, and while the takeover part of it was extremely violent, and the everything followed it too, the laws they put in place. I mean, you, you can. I hear people on the right say horribly racist and horrible things about Iranians, but like the laws they put in place, they're the same ones you're pushing for here. You want to punish people who are gay. You want to, you know what the President Ahmadinejad of Iran, not the current, he was president like 20 years ago. He said that we don't have gay people in Iran. He said we just don't have them. They don't exist. There are none. Don't know what you're talking about. And the reason he said that is because he executes them. So that's why he could say that, is because he'll kill them if they do. Um, I said that once to a far right person that once that I knew, and they said, "Well, it looks like Iran's doing some things right." I'm like, what? What? So you like? Do you like that? Surely you don't like that. And maybe I don't know if they meant it as a joke or not, to be honest. But I don't associate with that person. But then I started to notice a lot of similarities. Religion. We referenced the religion before making the law. Putting religion back into your schools. Yeah, they do that in Iran. My cousin used to tell me that in Iran, when they would learn, they would also have to learn about Khomeini as well. And you couldn't learn about anything that, of course, contradicted Khomeini, um, or anything that contradicted this religious extremism. It also had to do with women being second class, um, servant to their husband. I mean, that's religion. Look, these books, if you've got a modern version of religion, go for it, man. But like these books that were written like thousands of years ago, a long time ago, whatever religion you're talking about, it really, every single one of them, these old books were written by people, written by people a long time ago, way before the time that we knew we had to wash our hands, way before the time. So, and, like, understand, people. I don't know if people even wiped their ass back then properly, but if they did afterwards, they didn't know to wash their hands. Those people came up with a series of like. I don't want to hear what they have. I don't. People back then didn't have like all the best ideas. I'm sorry to tell you. I don't care what their opinions are on anything. To be quite honest, if you got a modern version, if you got some, okay, that's one thing. But like, I'm not trusting ancient books. I'm not trusting them, especially because none of those books from back then, thousands of years ago, are the same book you're reading today. It would just take one person like Trump, but there hasn't just been one. Kings after kings after kings rewriting it, taking out the parts they don't like. Other religions coming in and going, "Oh, actually, like this, like that." I mean, whatever serves the nobles. That's ultimately what these books will be. And I'm not picking on any one religion. They're all the same. They're all the same. And they serve one purpose. They enable one man at least, or several men, to take power without question with loyal servitude. Maybe that's not what it is to you, but that is the tool in which it's used, and it's always effective in that way, and it's currently still being used in that way. So however you define it, I'm glad that you see it differently, but that's what it does. So religion and government, bad mix. Even our founding fathers knew that. Many of them, if you look at the quotes, are pretty, agnostic quotes there. But they wrote in the First Amendment that there shall be no law made respecting any religion. Any. None. Not Christianity. Not Muslim. None. None of them. There should be no laws made. So I believe this whole abortion debate, as it is stemmed from whatever this ancient book said, I believe that is an unconstitutional law. I don't believe that. I believe that even like outlawing abortion, because of the origin of the motivation behind outlawing it, was the Bible says so, which it doesn't. Um, it should be outlawed. It's unconstitutional. Slavery was in the Bible. Then slavery should have been unconstitutional. Um, it's there before the Second Amendment. Like they could have put the Second Amendment first. If they were like, no guns, no, we want guns to protect the other. No, 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 no. They put speech first. Speech is far more powerful than guns. Anyway, you're all well. My lips are so dry. I'm gonna go find some chapstick. They look dry. All right. Well, love y'all. Take care. I got nothing else to talk about. Hope you all do well. Treat each other well, and remember to just like don't be an asshole. Like just, I don't know how else to say that. Just don't be an asshole. If you find yourself going like, screw them. They don't need anything. You're the bad guy. Anyway, take care. All. Yep. Yep.